Welcome back to Tales from the Glass-Guarded World, Paxton and the Rugbuds, Part 6. As usual, we have Brandon, Pavel, Podrig, and Ryan as Lumpen, and Pink as the DM. Podrig and Ryan don't appear in this particular episode, though. I'm still doing the editing and music behind the scenes, as usual. I hope you've given Tales of Bob a listen by now. If you haven't, you should give it a try. It's a clean, actual play podcast produced with our friends at the House of Bob. You can find Tales of Bob on any podcast platform. If you like it, please give it a review on Apple Podcasts so that more people can find it. And now, back to Paxton and the Lumpens as they make their way to the Great Forest.
When last we left Paxton and his textile companions, Paxton had just engaged in a tense confrontation with Atulf, after Atulf denied knowing who Lidwina was. In response, Paxton smartly attempted to use a zone of truth, but Atulf quickly counterspelled it, arguing that the magistracy does not allow him to be subject to such spells, as he is the keeper of secrets. Paxton headed back to the Pumpk Inn, now beginning to doubt whether Atulf truly is who he says he is. Back within the inn, Lumpen and Lumpen talk with Lidwina, who commiserates her failed romantic pursuits with Atulf and also offers encouragements on life and the sense of smell. Upstairs, Charles and his mysterious friend discuss the whereabouts of Roderick. Why was Charles's conversation so secret? Is Atulf truly a doppelganger? Will the Lumpens ever stop teleporting? Will Lidwina ever find love? Where the heck is Handrew? Let's find out now. Welcome. All right, so Paxton, you had just left a tense conversation with Atulf, who had denied knowing who Lidwina was, and he had spoken to his compatriots in some sort of language that you don't know, but you kind of stormed off after telling him that you were starting to doubt him.
Yeah, I told him that's just what a doppelganger would say.
Exactly. And he did not seem to respond well to that. But anyways, we're going to, as he's coming back in, we'll jump back into the Pumpk Inn. And Lidwina is just finishing saying to the Lumpens, and that's the trick to understanding women.
Wow, it's all so simple.
Yeah.
Everybody should know these things.
Yeah, exactly.
Why do you need to understand women?
Well, they're everywhere. They make up half of everyone.
How do you understand men?
I haven't figured that one out yet.
Iron Lumpen's gonna raise one hand and say, that makes sense. But what's a woman?
As she starts to explain that, her face gets a little red, but then coming in the door is not actually Paxton, but a group of dwarves. They're carrying pickaxes, and they're covered in grime. And the barkeep, he comes out, and he's kind of a gruff-looking half-orc. And he says, hey, you need to leave. You know, you people aren't allowed in here. And the dwarves, they start grumbling, and they walk out. And then he turns to you guys, because you guys are giving him kind of a strange look, I assume.
Absolutely.
And he says, sorry, we don't serve minors.
Love it.
Boo.
So Paxton, as you're walking back into the inn, you see a group of disgruntled dwarves leaving, carrying their pickaxes and just kind of mumbling to themselves.
Trying to think of a pun here, but nothing's coming to mind.
No.
Do they have a problem with you guys?
Yeah, we keep trying to get in there, but they won't serve us just because of our jobs. It's fine. We'll go somewhere else. We don't need them. Yeah, right, boys? Right. And they pull their shoulders up and they tromp away.
So, Lumpens.
Hey, Paxton.
Yeah, so you make your way in, and Lidwina. So I did want to correct. I called her Edwina last time, I think, but her name is actually Lidwina.
Uh-huh.
She's there. She's talking with the Lumpens.
So, before I talk to the Lumpens, before I even make them aware of my presence, I'm just going to sit back and like watch them for a minute, because either Ludwina is a doppelganger or a Tulf is, or something.
Yeah.
Not sure, but right now not really trusting anyone but the Lumpins.
Sure. So do you go and kind of sit down with them at the bar?
I'm going to stand by the door and just kind of watch their body language, even if I can't, like, hear them.
Roll a perception check for me.
Ready?
For those who are not in the Discord, specific Discord group that we're all in. Yeah. Well, Brandon said he might have a way to discover the doppelganger, so I'm interested to... So we'll see.
That roll was a natural 20 plus 5, 25.
Oh, sure. Now that it's the physical dice that we can't see.
Yeah.
No, okay. So you can definitely tell then with a natural 20 that she seems to be completely genuine. Her shoulders are slumped. I mean, you can tell her like you can see her eyes are a little red where she may have been crying earlier. Like, if she is a doppelganger, she's the greatest doppelganger in the world, because all these emotions seem incredibly genuine. But as you're looking at her, the door opens again, and Atulf and his companions come in. And Atulf, he looks at you, Paxton, as he walks in, and then he moves past you, and he walks up to Lidwina.
Can we be in the middle of a conversation at this point?
Yeah, you guys are in the middle of a conversation. So what are you saying, Brandon?
So I pulled out the wand of circus, I think is what you called it.
Yep.
And I say to her, yeah, so my friend Paxton bought me this wand, but it didn't seem to work because when I pointed it at him, he was still a big gray armored guy, even after I waved it around. See, like this. And then I just point it behind her, which happens to be in the direction of Atulf, and activate the wand. Now, doppelgangers cannot be affected by polymorph type spells. So if he has to make a saving throw, he's not a doppelganger. And if he doesn't, then he is.
Okay, so do you know if he makes a saving throw or not?
Well, I mean, I guess it's a matter of observing him if he, makes any kind of resistance or has any kind of effect at all, right? Like, if you are resisting the effect of a spell, I have to think there has to be some kind of indication, which hopefully Brian's natural 20 will let him see that.
Okay, well, I'm going to roll, and I won't tell you what I'm rolling for. All right, so the wand hits him, and it does some, sparks on his chest, and he kind of, takes a step back and, starts feeling around on his chest.
Oh, sorry, Atulf. I didn't see you there. Maybe it does do something.
What was that?
Oh, this is wand. I think it's broken. I put it back in my chest. My literal chest.
Yeah, just put it back in the chest cavity. He kind of shakes it off, and he kind of looks at his friends, and they say something, but he continues walking up to Lidwina, and he taps her on the shoulder, and he says,
I'm sorry about before, Lidwina. The truth is that I do remember you. In truth, I was embarrassed because of how we left things before. I should not have pretended that I did not know you.
And she says, well, thank you for telling me that. That requires a lot of bravery. I'm sorry. I know we ended things on note the last time, and I'm really sorry if I was too forward. He says,
It is fine, but I am sorry, Lidwina. The truth is, after having the time to think about it, I am not interested. I appreciate your contributions in fighting the Iron Empire. I am sorry that it cannot be more. Consider that my remorse.
And then he turns away from her, and she seems very shocked, and her eyes start to kind of well up with tears. And he walks over to you, Paxton, and he says,
I am sorry that you doubted me, Paxton. The truth is that I am not very good with confrontation. Lidwina wanted something that I could not give.
And then he looks at you and he says,
Now, if you don't mind, I would like to leave. I will be waiting for you outside.
And he steps outside. And his friends follow after him. And the only one who looks really uncomfortable is actually Sibley Bever, who's kind of following them around and hanging around D&D. She kind of has an awkward look on her face, but then they all step out together.
But of course, D&D is cool.
Yeah, D&D, he's a cool guy, but Atulf not always.
Well, Lumpins, you ready to get this adventure going?
Where are we going again?
I guess we're waiting for Charles
Yeah.
to get
we're
finished with his talk
and we're supposed to murder somebody, right?
eventually.
Okay. Bye, Ludwina. We have to murder somebody.
Yeah, we got to find out where that person is.
She's kind of like sniffles and is like, yeah, okay, have fun with that. Great.
You want to come?
I think I'm okay. I think I might need a minute. But maybe if you guys are still
You don't seem okay.
just give me a minute. Maybe I'll come with you. Just I don't know. Are you going with the Tolf?
Yeah.
Did he want to come?
Yeah, I think I've got other things to do. I'm sorry. And she pats you on your little rag head, and then she steps out the back door.
Before she goes, I give her a hug.
Oh, she actually really appreciates that, and she really gives you a big hug back, and then she steps out. Charles is still not down from upstairs. What would you like to do?
Lumpins, you want to go check out any more vendors or get any more food?
Should we check on Charles? He seemed... I actually forget how he seemed. There was like some negative emotions going on. I don't remember if he was scared or angry or what.
Charles also has that sword, right? That he claims he's got under control.
Yeah.
So when he went up with that guy, what was his emotional state?
They seemed like they had gotten into an argument.
That's right. Yeah, he seemed like maybe he and that person he's talking to had some problems. Should we check on him? I can do it very quietly.
Yeah.
Lumpin, why don't you roll me a stealth check?
Oh, I'm going to actually transform.
Ooh.
My whole cloth body just sort of like explodes into all of the whole hempen weave that makes up his body just sort of unravels, shreds apart the stuffing kind of left on the floor, and then it all conglomerates into a ball. And then there are just some woven strands coming out, and I've turned into a little tiny dust bunny spider.
Oh, that's cool. So the little spider is gonna. Does the spider have an advanced stealth check?
Possibly, but also I think it's less likely that anyone would notice.
Yeah, you can roll with advantage too, because there's no way they would hear a little spider crawling around.
17.
Okay. You climb up, you kind of hear some angry arguing going on from one of the rooms upstairs, and you make your way towards the door. And as you make your way to the door, you kind of stumble into the middle of a conversation. You can kind of hear it from the crack underneath the door. And you can actually crawl low enough to where you can actually see them. They're just kind of standing there in the middle of the room. Charles has his arms folded, and the other guy seems to be arguing a lot with his hands. And he says, "We don't need your friends. Me and you should just capture him before he can slip off into the shadows again. I promise you, we can take him." And Charles says, "Nah, you're being foolish. You know, he killed my father and 10 of his best men single-handedly. So we don't need to catch him by surprise. You know, with the backup muscle I've got with my friends, we can make sure that he doesn't have a chance at escaping." He goes, "Trust me, I want this more than you." And his friend says to him, "If he killed your dad and all of his cloaks, what makes you so sure that he won't kill you guys?" And then Charles says, "Let's just say I've got a few tricks up my sleeve. But anyways, we've been up here arguing about this enough. Look, thank you for the information, and it's happening, okay? I appreciate it. I appreciate your help. Goodbye." And he walks towards the door, and I'm assuming you move out of the way so he doesn't step on you. And he slams open the door, and he starts making his way downstairs.
I jump onto his shoulder.
Okay, so you climb on, and I'll just keep your stealth check. He won't see you, and you climb on, and the other guy just kind of harumps inside of there, but then he walks out as well after a second or two after Charles had left. So you guys make your way down the stairs. Charles sees you, Paxton, and he goes, all right, I've got the location. I'm ready. You guys ready to roll?"
Yep.
All right, let's do it. And he goes straight to the door and opens it. And as he's walking out, Paxton, you can see a little spider hanging onto his back. And you also, Paxton, notice that his friend finally comes down the stairs as well. And he just kind of glares at you and glares at you guys. He actually goes and sits down and orders a drink of the milk with the cow's permission.
Forgot about that.
Yeah.
I have some meta suspicions about what's going on, but I won't say them.
Gotcha. So he makes his way out. He sees a Tolf, and he exchanges pleasantries with the Tolf. And he goes, all right, well, I'm ready to roll. Let's make our way out of here. So we're actually going to go, apparently, well, according to my buddy, Roderick is hiding out in the ruins of Quuclith. It's kind of this ruins north of the forest. And there's been a little bit of remodeling there, but it's still like a pretty ancient ruins. We're not quite sure what they're there for. That's the best road to get to the forest, so it makes sense why he's there. He might be robbing people as they are making their way into the Great Forest or something like that.
So he might find us before we find him.
He might, but according to my friend, he has a hideout with some guys. I think if we can do it right, we should be able to surprise him.
Sounds good. Do you have any idea how many guys are in his hideout with him?
I don't. My friend guessed that he probably have about 10 guys with him. I think we should be fine. He said, if he kind of only hangs out according to my friend, he hangs out inside of the cave by himself, and his guys, he'll send him out on missions and stuff. He says, so I think if we can just time it right, maybe during the day when all of his guys are out, like robbing people or doing bad guy stuff, when kind of maybe he's just by himself, that might be our best time to strike when he's not surrounded by guards or only has one or two.
Sounds like a good idea.
Iron Lumpin's gonna speak up and say, if any of his guys are women, I think we got some really good tips on how to deal with them.
Great. Awesome. Yeah, okay. Perfect. That's great to hear. And so he nods at a Tolf, and a Tolf nods at you guys, and he nods at you, Paxton. And then he continues on.
Are we going straight there from here, or are there going to be other stops along the way?
So you'll make your way out of the town, but it'll probably be the last big town that you guys encounter. There might be like little tiny settlements and probably some like one or two like little stops along the way, but this was probably your biggest town that you'll encounter until you get there.
Are there any supplies that we need before we leave? Anybody? Adolf?
What were the foods that we had before?
Oh man, I deleted that from my Google Doc.
There was some kind of like pie or something?
Yeah, it was like, there was lots of different corn things and vegetable things.
Almond beer? I think?
Yeah, there was like almond beer and zucchini bread and stuff like that.
Charles just hears from right beside his ear, more almond beer.
So Charles freaks out and like just smacking around at his head, just trying to figure out. And he's like, "Oh no, the demons! They finally got me! I finally lost it!" And then he sees the spider and he freaks out. He screams a very high pitched squeal, and he attempts to throw the spider off of him.
So it's canonical that Charles has at one point been haunted by demons, if the demons can be back.
Yeah.
Just hold on.
So you just hold on, and he's freaking out. Tolf will go over and just nonchalant try to like scoop you up with both hands very gently.
I'll turn back into Lumpin when he scoops me up. Hiya, Tolf.
He just looks at you and then he sets you down gently. Charles goes, "I did not like that. I did not like that. Let's not do that again."
Okay.
Great. Okay. And so he starts making his way out of town. As you guys start walking a little bit, D&D kind of hangs back, and he has a conversation with Sibley, and she seems very insistent about something, and she kind of puts her foot down, and you see his shoulders kind of slump, and then he turns around and starts walking with you guys, and she continues to follow. All right, well, as you guys are leaving, the only other thing that happens as you're getting towards the end of town, a few people come up to you, and one of the guys goes, Hey, man, you're like the little guy that was so mean to Bob Humanman." And they're looking at you, Hempin' Lumpin'. Man, it's like not cool to take off people's clothes, man.
Take them off. I peeked behind the buttons.
The other lady's like, yeah, man, like we know that they're goblin, and the another guy goes, I mean, we know that he is a little different, but that's no excuse to go, looking through his clothes. Now, ever since then, Bob won't come out of his cave after you guys interacted with him.
Aww.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Not cool, man.
Should we go talk to him?
No, just, I don't know, man. Why not? Well, just be a little nicer, man.
Okay.
And they leave, and you guys finally make your way towards the end of town, and as you're walking out of town, you do see that there's a little kind of cart set up here at the edge of town, and you see even from a distance, like there's little acts of like thaumaturgy going on, like little firework type looking sparkles, and there's like a loud booming voice over the crowd, and you pick up that this is Stupendous Stanley's Marvels and Curiosities.
This was the rival to the other magic shop, right?
Yeah, and this guy, so this was the rival to Magic Mike, but Stupendous Stanley, he's only been here for a little bit, for a couple days, but Magic Mike is not a fan.
Does Stupendous Stanley's store look bigger than Magic Mike's?
No, actually not at all. It's just like a little, like a rolling cart that he's kind of unfolded to make like a little, like there's a little stage part of it. He's a halfling. You can see him now as you get closer. He's standing up on the stage and he's kind of speaking to this crowd, and there's like other things going on. You see like a box of live snakes is in there, and just other kind of like interesting looking magic items are kind of spread out around.
What do we see?
You see like there's some really weird looking bottles with like bubbling, boiling stuff inside. You see this like really crazy looking axe hung up. You see different sets of armor that are all hung up, like a weird helmet, lots of different pieces of jewelry. You do see there's different magical instruments that are up, that are kind of playing on their own, kind of accompanying him as he's giving this speech. And he himself has a bass. He's all about the bass. So he's got a bass that he's playing, but the rest of the instruments are playing on their own. And then he kind of does some things on the bass and then turns it over and it starts playing on itself as well. But you hear
so there is treble.
Yeah, the treble is coming. You hear him finally as you get closer. His voice is booming over the crowd with magical enhancements, and he says, "It can cure arthritis, arrhythmia, inflammation, irritation, sprains, swelling, scratches, and scars, bruises, bites, bumps, and backaches. It can cure it all. I've got poultices, potions, liniments, and lotions. I've got salves, salts, pills, and malts. Pick your poison. I'm a potion." As the crowd is watching, he takes one of the snakes and he cuts off its head and throws its body into a thing of a vat of some kind of liquid, and it starts boiling, and then he skims the top of it and puts it in a bottle, and he hands it to one of the guys standing there, and he goes, "How about you, sir? I learned these secrets amongst the nomadic orc tribes themselves. They adopted me as one of their own, and I became them, and I learned their secrets. They took me to the tomb of Darnak, the greatest orc warlord who ever lived, and I recovered many of his magical items, and they are beyond compare." And he hands this potion to this guy, and the guy goes, I'm not so sure about this." And then the guy drinks the potion, and he goes, "Wow, I do feel better. Try it, sir, try it." And he motions over to like a boulder that's over by the side, and the guy actually is able to pick up this boulder and like lift it, and like you see like dust and dirt coming off the bottom and like little roots that were stuck to the boulder, and the guy goes, "Wow, this is amazing." And he sets it down, and he goes and hands Stanley some money and grabs several potions, and he's now talking to the other people about what a fantastic sensation it was.
Paxton walks over and picks up the boulder.
I mean, you can't pick it up. It's a legit boulder.
Wow. So
Yeah.
that wasn't like a trick.
No. Like he straight up picked up that
It's not
boulder.
that kind of trick.
Huh.
Well, is it a trick potion, or is it a real potion, or is the guy just super strong?
I mean, you can find out. Stupendous Stanley, he looks at you and goes, "Oh, welcome, newcomers! Welcome to the greatest show on Earth. My name is Stanley Clark, founder of Stupendous Stanley's Marvels and Curiosities. Please, step up, find what suits you. I have many an item that goes beyond your wildest dreams."
Stanley, did that snake hurt you or your friends or your family?
Well, not quite, but, it was a sacrifice that must have been made for the greater good of pursuing science.
I was told that you're not supposed to kill anyone unless they threaten you or your family or your friends.
Yeah, okay, sure. It threatened my mom, all right?
Okay.
Anyways, hey, look at you, sir. And he points over to Paxton and he goes, "Look at you." He goes, "Man, you seem like a man who knows his armors, am I correct?"
Oh, yeah.
"Do I have something for you, sir? Are you looking for a shield or some armor?" He pulls out a shield that has like this crazy face carved into it. And he goes, "This magical shield will absorb damage, and it can do so and transfer that damage into you. Not only that, but by doing so, you can also change the visage that is on the shield in order to strike fear into your enemies. Here, observe." And he takes the shield and he makes it, and all of a sudden it switches from like a happy face on the shield to an angry face. He goes, "And look here, I have the vicious blood armor." And he pulls it out. He goes, "It was given to me. It was given to me by an orc chieftain who I stayed with for a time. It is capable of great strength, and it will make you impenetrable beyond compare."
Too late. I bang on my chest armor.
I see. Or how about this? I have this artifact of glass, and he takes it, and it's this square cube made of glass. It has some sort of magical enchantment to it. I haven't been able to figure it out, but it's still a puzzle. But it seems to do something. He goes, "Or I have this amulet of paralysis, where you can paralyze your targets and turn them completely stricken. Or how about this? A ring of the future. It can help you see your own future and know where you're going."
What about that axe on the wall?
"Oh, yes. It is some of my finest of my glass steel. It is beyond repair. It can cut through anything."
Glass steel. That's some dangerous stuff to be messing around with.
"So I understand your reservation, sir. I understand. However, I have purposely made sure that none of my items are cursed. None of them are capable of any sort of evil. I work with several enchanters in the City of One, and all of them are very good at what they do and have made sure that none of my items are cursed. Guaranteed. Guaranteed not cursed, or your money back."
So, my memory, can do a history check for this, but my memory of the glass steel stuff is that it drives you crazy, not like because that's an innate trait of glass steel, but that was glass steel that was made badly.
Yeah, if it was harvested incorrectly.
Is there any way that I would be able to tell if this was, harvested correctly or not just by looking at it?
Yeah, I mean, well, roll a perception check. Or
Ready?
roll an investigation check, actually.
Make sure you get that ethically sourced glass steel.
Yeah. That's a natural 1.
Okay, I mean, well, it seems to be fine. It seems like it seems very well crafted. It seems like it's very ornate and everything. It's got gold weaved into it's like a double-bladed axe. And it seems to have be very well crafted.
Don't you have some kind of skill with this kind of knowledge, Iron?
I don't know much. I know things about steel. I don't know much about glass. I know that if you drop it, it will break. Oh yeah, let's drop it.
Yes, well, you won't have to worry about it. This thing is unbreakable. It is supreme. I'm not worried about you breaking it. It is absolutely incredible.
While he's talking this up, can Iron Lumpen just walk over and pick it up and just drop it?
Sure.
Yep. While he's talking, Iron Lumpen just walks over and just casually just picks it up off his wagon and just holds it in front of him and just lets it go and just lets it clatter to the ground.
Yeah, it breaks into 1,000 pieces. And he goes, What? What have you done? Sir, well, obviously that might have been defective, but it's still a break-it-you-buy-it policy here at Stupendous Stanley's.
I think you're a fraud, buddy.
I would never. I never. How dare you, sir? Please. Either way, it doesn't matter. I have a. He points to a sign over on the corner of the cart. It says, "You break it, you buy it." It's the policy, so I will be expecting 200 gold, please.
How about this? You let me and my friends go, and we don't tell everyone in town and give you the D&D equivalent of a 1-star Yelp review.
Well, I am not worried about whatever dispersions you may cast, sir. I have plenty of solid customers who have come back to me time and time again.
I hope they're more solid than that axe.
His expression darkens. As he's talking to you, though, a guy walks up to you, Iron Lumpin, and he's wearing a hat, but you can tell it's the same guy from before who lifted up the boulder. But he's wearing a hat now and trying to look a little bit different and blend into the crowd. He goes, "Hey, you better pay him the money."
I don't have two gold. I don't have 2 gold.
I think he said 200.
I don't think I have that. I can't count that high, but I don't think I have.
I have some burnt cookies.
He sighs and he goes, "Well, how about this? I will sell you a different magical item, and you will purchase it."
With the burnt cookies?
No, with gold.
We don't have any gold.
How about you, sir? And he points at Paxton. I believe you look like a man of means.
Paxton, I don't like this guy.
Hey, you're the guy from earlier, right? The one that pretended to be on the fence about this potion and then pick up the rock?
He kind of backs up a little bit when you say that, because I imagine you said that a little loudly.
Yeah.
And a few people turn to look at him, and he says, no, that was somebody else, I
think you are the guy who picked up the rock from earlier, and now you're dressed differently, and you're yelling at us that we have to pay for this fraudulent axe that broke when you said it was unbreakable. How dare you, sir? You should go to jail for this.
He's a liar and a murderer.
All right, at this point, finally, Stupendous Stanley, he says, "All right, the jig is up, Carl. Let's go." and the other guy, he jumps into the cart. Stupendous Stanley presses a button, and all this stuff, a lot of the equipment was like on strings, and it gets pulled up back into the cart, and then they just hop in the cart and they whip the horses and they just take off.
Nice, good deed done for the day.
Yep, and the crowd is just kind of baffled, and they slowly start dispersing. And Charles walks up and he goes, "Yeah, I was wondering how long it would take to realize a lot of that was illusion magic."
Okay, I was fooled.
Yeah, sorry. I would have told you eventually, but I was just interested to see how long it would take.
Did he really kill that snake?
He did. I don't think that was an act.
Oh.
Although did you ever decide, Brian? I think snakes had spirits, so I think you guys would have seen a tiny little ghost leave when he killed the snake.
Well, that's a theological question for you, Pink.
Yeah.
And what happens now that there's no more soul jar? Like, what happens to where do the spirits go now that there's no soul jar?
They seem to all kind of float around. Most of them seem like they head back towards Arrival a little bit, because you guys saw some going towards the boat, but as far as where they go after, I think they all just kind of spread around until the lid is lifted again. All right, but anyways, Charles, he kind of laughs it off, and he makes some jokes to you guys, and then you make your way on, and eventually, though, you do encounter a little blind beggar who's in the street, and he goes, "Alms for the poor, please." And it's just a random guy who seems unconnected to anything else you've encountered.
I give him some burnt cookies.
"Oh, thank you. Oh, okay. Well, if you don't mind, I might join you." And he starts walking with you, and it seems very strange that all of a sudden he's just accompanying you.
What's your name?
"My name is Daryl.
Hi, I'm Lumpin.
Hi, Lumpin. I'm Daryl. I can't see you, but you sound like you're very nice. And so he just seems to just continue walking with you guys. It's a little bit strange. Tolf, he continues to talk with his compatriots along the way in whatever language they're speaking. After a while, you seem to pick up Paxton because you've encountered a few different people throughout your adventures, and you think it might be Orcish, what they're speaking.
Okay, Orcish. And I don't know any Orcish.
You don't know any Orcish.
Do you know Orcish?
Wow, my character sheets, my languages are none.
He doesn't even speak common.
It's just a Pokemon that goes lumpin', lumpin', lumpin'.
So it's a couple days travel. You encounter some different little settlements along the way, some different houses, some people selling you supplies and the like, until finally you're about a day's ride away from, or a day's walk from Quicklith. And Charles he's kind of wringing his hands together. You can tell he's kind of nervous, and he looks at you, Paxton, and he's like, I can't believe we're finally getting to it, where, I'm finally gonna get to see this rotten monster find justice for all the crimes he's committed.
How are you going to feel after he's dead?
I think I'll feel pretty good. It's been a dream of mine for a long time, and it's something I promised my mom, that I would make sure that he received justice. So that's what I'm gonna do. And I would like to hear, some of his excuse or whatever kind of reason he had beforehand, if possible. So we'll see what he says. But yeah, I'm ready to be done with this.
Have you ever killed anyone before, Charles?
No, a while ago I worked with a kind of a group of investigators, and we used to investigate criminals. And when I was with them, we once did a raid, and I unfortunately I had to kill a man as we were raiding this hideout, and it's not something I'm proud of. But that was before I found Vendetta, and it's been a long time since then.
And you're looking forward to killing this one?
Yeah, well, the guy I killed before, he was just honestly, he was just some kid who got caught up in the wrong crowd. I don't think he really knew what he'd gotten himself into. Roderick, whether or not he remembers what he did to my father, he deserves everything he gets.
Does Roderick know who you are? Would he recognize you whenever he saw you and know that you're the son of a person he killed?
No, I don't think so. Roderick would have no idea who I am.
Oh, can I give you a tip?
Sure.
Don't announce it to him. Don't say you killed my father, prepare to die, because he might tell you some things that might not be true, but also won't ever leave your head. So don't give him that power over you.
Yeah. All right. I appreciate it, but still, I would like to know if he even remembers anything of who my father was.
Well, at least wait until he's in a position where he doesn't have leverage over us anymore. You got me?
I gotcha.
Making notes. Kill enemies quickly, no dramatic speeches.
Got it. You make your way forward until finally you see some ancient buildings out in the distance. It seems like a lot of stones and it's all ruins. Most of it's fallen down. But eventually, as you guys make your way there, you eventually see a little booth on the road, and it has a sign that says tickets.
Tolf, do you know what that's all about? Or Captain, maybe?
Tolf says,
I have no idea.
D&D and Zenfer, they don't have any idea either. But yeah, Charles goes, yeah, that's new for me too. I'm not sure what that's all about. What did I say his name was? Daryl?
Yeah.
Daryl, the blind guy.
Yeah, Daryl says,
I'm sure it's nothing to worry about.
You didn't always sound like that, did you, bud?
Wait, hold on. Let me get my voice right. I'm sorry. I had something in my throat. It's fine. Everything is good now. Sorry, my body gets away from me sometimes.
Where are you from, Daryl?
Is Atulf hearing this?
Yeah, Tolf, weirdly, he just kind of rolls his eyes. He doesn't even seem to really mind this guy.
What's the deal? Why is he talking weird, Atulf? Is he a doppelganger?
I do not know who this man is, but he seems like an annoyance, and I am fine if we just leave him.
Maybe we can buy him a ticket.
You guys continue forward to the tickets. There's a lady. She's got just a very short, shoulder length haircut. She seems very put together. She's standing there and she goes, "Hello, welcome to Quackleth. Hello, it's great to have you. Would you like some tickets?"
Do we need tickets?
Oh yes, to see all the beautiful architecture of this mysterious ruin. Absolutely, it's worth the price. I'm telling, it's so great.
How long before Roderick pops out and attacks us? I'm like looking at her eyes for a reaction.
She just looks at you like she's like waiting for a joke, and then she's like, "Okay, I see somebody had a little too much to drink. That's fine. Anyways, it's gonna be 5 silver per admission." And Tolf doesn't. He just goes up and he puts down like a couple gold, and he just starts walking forward.
Tolf, you don't think this is kind of weird? What if this is a trap?
I want to be done with this, and I want to get to the Iron Empire to stop the Emperor. This feels like a waste of time.
Okay. Paxton steps back. I guess the tickets have been paid for.
Yeah, and so she hands you guys ticket. Who wants to take the tickets?
I don't know, but we'll grab his.
Okay, so you guys grab your tickets. We'll just say you guys can grab all the tickets for everybody, and you guys continue forward.
I'll say, did we get Daryl a ticket?
Yeah, he gave like 5 gold or something, so he put down enough for all of you guys and more. So he obviously Atulf just does not even care about this at all, and just wants to be through this.
Are you a woman? Before we leave.
Last time I checked.
Okay. Louina didn't say that women also want 5 silver. I'm going to write that down.
Well, yeah. Well, not for me. I mean, it's for my company. Anyways, I hope you have a great trip.
Wait, what's your company name?
It's the... I gotta come up with something. The Quackleth Crusades Company. Quackleth Crusades Company. And it's not 3 Ks, for the record. It's not 3 Ks. It's Quackleth with a K, and then a C, and then a C.
I look her in the eyes and I say,
Qs?
"It sounds like you just made that up right now."
Her eyes dart around, and she's like, "No, I didn't. What?" And anyway, so you continue forward, and Charles is kind of looking all around. You see his hand is on his sword, and he seems to be like kind of ready for danger at any point. But weirdly enough, you guys make your way forward, and it seems honestly that it's kind of a tourist trap. Like there's like tour guides walking people around, talking about giving like lots of ridiculous theories on what those ruins were back in the day, and what kind of empire lived and fell, and all these kind of ridiculous stories that you're not quite sure if they're true or if they're just making them up. But yeah, so it's honestly, there's tons of people there. You were kind of expecting it to be kind of this like ruins for the cinematic battle, but no, it's just really a tourist trap. There's like people selling like roasted meat and stuff like that, and it's people walking around with their children and just showing them things.
Say, "Hey, Daryl."
Yeah, yes.
Oh,
This is my voice.
you remember?
It's been my voice since the beginning.
You remember that lady that was selling tickets?
Yeah.
You remember whenever I asked?
Was that a lady?
Yeah.
She said so.
I can't determine voices very good.
You remember whenever I asked her if she was working with Roderick?
Yes.
Man, it's a good thing she wasn't, because I found out someone was working with him. I don't know what I'd do. Probably something pretty violent.
Okay. Oh, great. I'm glad. It sounds like a bad guy.
I'm investigating or perceiving his reaction. See if he...
Sure. You can roll a perception check. He'll roll something.
It's a dirty 20.
All right. So he doesn't really seem to care at all about this Roderick guy that you're talking about. He doesn't seem to bother that. He does seem like he's hiding something and being weird and evasive. And his voice has definitely changed multiple times, and he's obviously putting on a fake accent.
Huh. Well, what's your deal, bud? Why do you keep changing your voice? I mean, I know that you are, so, like, quit trying to fake like you're not. You've been caught. What's the deal?
I have a rare disease that makes my voice change sometimes. It's very sad. It's genetic. I got it from my dad.
I cast Zone of Truth on him.
Okay. So Atolf looks back, and he gets very nervous when he hears... Because is there a verbal component to Zone of Truth?
Verbal and somatic, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So when Atolf hears you casting that, he's going to step back, and he kind of has a dark look on his eyes because he feels like you guys already had an argument about this, and he doesn't want to be in it again.
Mm-hmm.
But him and his guys, they kind of step back. But then this guy is... What does he have to roll to beat?
Let's see.
Charisma.
The charisma save?
And my save DC for this is 17. No, 14. I think.
Okay, he failed miserably. He failed.
Why do you keep changing your voice?
Because I am trying to put on a persona.
What are you hiding from us?
I'm not a very good actor.
Are you just practicing acting right now?
Kind of, yeah.
Do you have any ulterior motives, like you're trying to rob us or sell us out to someone?
Do I have to answer?
Yes. Well, are you asking Paxton, or are you asking me is like how the rules work?
So he's asking Paxton.
Yes, absolutely.
So, Paxton, are you also in the Zone of Truth?
No, I've cast it outside of myself.
Okay.
It's an old Eldritch Knight trick.
I see. And he goes, well, kind of, but I work for the good guys, so it's okay.
You need to leave right now, or I'll hurt you.
And you're telling the truth?
Yes.
Okay. And then he leaves.
Okay. It's we're one Daryl lighter.
Yep.
Bye, Daryl. Come back anytime.
Yeah.
He's working for the good guys. Does that mean he's working for us?
Everybody thinks they're working for the good guys.
Then how do we know we're the good guys?
We just have to make sure we don't do bad things.
But if everyone thinks they're the good guys, then everyone must think that the things they do are good. And that means that to Roderick, we're doing bad things.
That's probably true. You know, Roderick might have his reasons.
Does that make us bad guys?
You hear Charles mumble, I don't care what his reasons are. But Atolf does seem kind of like he's like staring off at this guy as this guy is leaving, and Atolf has kind of like a weird expression on his face and just kind of looking at this guy.
What you thinking, Atolf?
I'm thinking that he might have been a doppelganger.
Can we still see him?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you can still see him. He's probably like 30 feet away from you now. He's skedaddling. He's not running, but he's kind of walking at a quick pace.
I'm gonna zap him with the circus wand.
Okay. It hits him, and he kind of like reaches up and scratches his back, but he continues walking.
I think he's a doppelganger, guys.
Wait, so if you cast that thing on someone and nothing happens and it just sparks, that does mean they're a doppelganger?
Well, if they don't transform, people who transform into things can't be transformed, right?
Didn't you shoot Atolf with that thing earlier and nothing happened?
Maybe.
Paxton's starting to panic.
I shot you with it and nothing happened either.
No, I did change.
What if we put him back into the truth circle?
But for the record, he did say that Magic Mike did say that they have to roll a Constitution save to defend against it. So it doesn't force them to turn into it if they can beat the save.
Is that guy more than 60 feet away from me?
No, not yet. He's now about 40 feet away.
I say, hey, Daryl.
He turns around and looks at you.
Are you a doppelganger?
So what is the distance?
60 feet.
60 feet? He goes, yeah, totally.
I knew it.
And he salutes you and then just turns around and keeps walking.
Hemp and Lumpin, you can turn into animals, right?
Yeah.
Can you turn into something that could go catch up with him and grab him and bring him back?
Sure. Give me just a sec.
What nightmare is going to spring forth now?
All right, and he's just walking off at like normal speed, right?
He's walking off at a quick pace, so...
All right, but I can also, dash.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to start running towards him, more or less quietly. But as Hempin Lumpin moves along the path, his body, again, the hempen fibers start to separate, and they start to stretch out, and they lengthen into very long strands, and they start to wrap around each other. So his body just sort of stretches into this long mass of fibers, and they start to twist and weave until suddenly he's it's still all hemp, but it's long rope, the thickness of a strong person's forearm, the kind of rope that you might see on a big tall ship, the same kind of ship that we've been sailing on. So it's this long boat rope, but then at the end there's this fabric head with beady button eyes and a mouth full of needles, and I've turned into a giant constrictor snake.
Oh.
And
trying to figure out what it was.
Yeah, catch up to him and go for a constricting attack.
Okay. He's, 40 feet away, so you're going to get there?
I mean, my speed is 30 feet, but I can dash, so I can be right up on him.
Okay, so as you get to him, though, he's going to start bolting.
Well, then I get an opportunity attack.
Okay, yeah, so you can take an opportunity attack because he's going to bolt.
All right. Can I opportunity attack with a constrictor? Does it have to be a bite?
Let's go do a bite.
All right. That is only a 12 to hit.
Okay. Let me see what.
Oh, I have reached 10 feet.
So that will not hit him.
Oh, but I have 10 feet of reach, so I could have actually constricted him, probably. Because he was 40 feet away. If I did 30 feet of movement, and I can stretch out 10 feet to hit him.
Are you a regular constrictor snake or a giant?
Giant constrictor snake.
Giant imp constrictor snake.
Yes.
I think for a bite it's reached 10 feet. For constrict it's only reached.
Oh, maybe not. That's right. Yes. So he's running. Now I'm going to keep following him.
Okay. He's going to take off. What are the rest of you guys doing?
Iron Lumpin is going to do what the other Lumpins do. I guess Iron Lumpin, he doesn't have too many options. I guess he will throw a hand axe once he sees the guy running and sees Hempin Lumpin chasing him. He'll just throw a hand axe at Daryl.
All right. Why don't we all roll initiative?
Yeah, that makes sense. Ooh. All right, 20.
Ooh, 19.
And 18.
All right. And then let me see what Charles gets.
I somehow predict these are going to be our best rolls of the night.
Yeah. Charles got a 19. And so
Wow.
he'll let Iron Lumpin go first, though. And then Tolf and his friends. All right, so one of them got a 25, one of them got an 18, and one of them got a 12. All right, so the 25, so that was Zenferer. And Zenferer, he's going to use his action to say something to Tolf in this other language. And then it will be Hempin Lumpin's turn.
So I had dashed to catch up to him. He ran off. I assume he had 30 feet of movement as well. So I should be able to catch up with 30 feet. Is that right?
Yep.
All right. Then I will catch up to him and try to constrict. 16.
Oh, a 16 does hit.
Yay! All right. So that is 15 bludgeoning damage, and he is grappled and restrained.
Okay.
So the rope leaps out at him and just wraps around him, sort of like a mummy, and just squeezes.
Okay. So he is restrained and he's squirming, trying to get out of it.
Tolf, what do you think we should do about this guy? Under Zone of Truth, he said he was a doppelganger.
Tolf says,
We should kill him.
That's on you then.
so it's now Iron Lumpin's turn.
Let's see, how far away is he? He ran off, so he's 40 feet away, right?
You got
Yeah.
60 odd feet at this point,
Okay,
didn't you?
I'm gonna have to get. So I'm gonna get just within range of a. Actually, no, I have to throw a hand. Actually, he's grappled.
And how much damage did you do, Brandon?
I did 15.
15.
Can you
Okay.
throw a hand axe at him if he's grappled?
You can. I think Yeah, I think it has advantage if
he's
he's grappled.
restrained also.
As long as he's not prone.
Yeah, by restrained should mean I think that people have advantage on him and he has disadvantage. Grappled isn't affected, but the restrained gives it that.
Yep. All right.
Regardless, I'm not gonna throw an axe at him. I'm gonna take my move action and my action to get close to him so I can help if he escapes the grapple. So I'll get right next to him, but then I'm gonna turn to Adolf and say, "You should only kill people if they attack us or hurt us." He was only talking.
Tolf says, "The doppelgangers are working together to try to kill everyone. It does not matter."
Oh. Okay.
Good enough for me.
Oh gosh. All right. So are you gonna attack him, Iron Lumpen, or are you gonna wait till your next turn?
I can't. With my move speed, I use my move and my action just to get next to him, just to kind of support Hemp and Lumpen.
Okay. All right. So Charles, he's gonna use his full movement to get close to him, but then he's also gonna cast Flame Blade. And so a spectral blade is going to appear in his other hand, and he's going to pull out Vendetta in his dominant hand. So he'll move 15 feet closer. All right, and now it is actually the doppelganger's turn, and the doppelganger is going to try to squirm out. So what does he roll to try and escape?
Either Dex or Strength, disadvantage because he's restrained, DC 16.
Okay. DC 16. All right. Let's see what he gets. Oh, yeah. So he is able to escape. And he squirms out, and he is going to... Does that count as a full action to...
That is a full action.
Okay. So he is going to use his action to escape, and he starts to try and make his way away as well.
Well, then he'll get a bite.
And an
All right,
Opportunity
Paxton,
attack.
it is your turn.
Or does he actually leave the area?
Yeah, if he's leaving, then we get opportunity attacks.
Yeah. We can
Oh,
clobber
well,
him.
no, he can't move at all because he used his full... Or I guess that doesn't use his movement, does it?
Yeah, just his action.
All right, yeah, he'll take the opportunity attacks, and he'll try and bolt.
All right, that's a natural 20.
Ooh.
Oh,
And that is 2d6, which equals 4d6. Not great rolls, though. 8, 10, 14 piercing damage.
He takes that hit. All right, Lumpkin, you're going to hit him.
I am gonna try. I still roll for the attack, right?
Yep.
Well,
That does not hit. But he actually has a feature called Slippery Dash. And so it says, when hit with an attack, the doppelganger can use its reaction to move 40 feet away from the attacker.
Whoa!
oh, that's very good.
Yep. And so he's going to use his 40 feet now to get away from you on his reaction. So
Okay.
he's now 80 feet away.
Whoa!
And so now he's outside of the zone of truth as well.
I want to play a doppelganger as a playable race. That's awesome.
Well, this is a custom. That's a custom doppelganger. That doesn't have that in the regular one.
So he had 40 feet base speed? That's crazy.
Crazy Daryl.
Yep, he has a 40 feet base speed. He's like a super quick doppelganger. And not a very good fighter, which is why he's trying to run away. But as he's running away, on his turn, he will say, "Hey, look, it's me. It's One-Eyed William. Please, don't hurt me. Just let me go."
It's One-Eyed William.
Yep. And now it's Paxton's turn. What are you going to do, Paxton?
Is that an amphibia reference?
He was... One-Eyed William is the guy, the boatswain, or the bosun, depending on if you believe the way he pronounces it.
Yeah, I don't know if you were there. I don't think... Were you ever on the
that's
boat,
right.
Iron Lumpin?
He wasn't there.
I think maybe I got teleported onto the boat when I switched out with Napkin Lumpin.
Yeah.
All right. Well, anyways, what are you going to do, Paxton? He's now 80 feet away from you.
Not for long. Paxton drops down onto the ground like in a sprinter starting position, and he's
Okay.
casting Expeditious Retreat on himself, and then pushes off against a
Ooh.
rock, runs 30 feet for his movement, and then casting that as a bonus action that lets you also dash in the same turn. So he's casting
Okay.
it and is now 60 feet ahead. So he's only 20
Okay,
feet
so
away, right?
Okay, yeah. So he's now 20 feet away. And the crowd is like partying because you're having to kind of dodge around people as this is all going on.
Yeah.
When people are like yelling and getting very confused and are moving out of the way. That's going to be your turn. Atolf.
Nah. I still got an action.
Oh, go. Oh, crazy.
So casting that spell was a bonus action that lets you dash in the same
Okay,
turn
got
that
it.
you cast it. And then on every
Got it,
bonus
okay.
action in the future. for
Okay.
10 minutes, which is the
Wow.
same
Okay.
amount of time as my Zone of Truth lasts. So Zone of Truth is still in effect, right?
No, he's now 80 feet away
Well, I just moved.
from where
I
you...
just moved 60 feet closer.
so the Zone of Truth, it just follows you wherever you're at?
Well,
I don't think
Maybe
it
it
does. I
doesn't.
think it stays on a point. I mean, we can drag him back there. It says you can magical zone that guards against deception, centered on a point of your choice.
yeah,
Yeah, it's just in a spot.
it's out of it.
Yep.
But we already know he's a liar.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask him some, follow-up questions, but maybe we can still catch him. But I'm 20 feet away from him right now, so I'm going to use my action to cast Firebolt, which is 3d10. So I'll do a hit roll first. 6. That's a 13.
13 does not hit.
So it just sails right over him.
Yep, and he kind of dodges at the last minute. He shrinks out of it, and it kind of flies right by his head.
Hey, stop, thief!
Okay, and so that is that now
Yes.
your turn, or you've got like 5 more
No,
actions
that's
you want to do? Okay. All right, it's a Tolf's turn, and a Tolf, so 80 feet. So a Tolf can, what's normal walking speed? 30?
Yeah.
Okay, so a Tolf is gonna go 30 feet, and then he's gonna cast a pretty high level firebolt at him. Or wait, no, not firebolt. What's the one that's actually like a spell?
I mean, Firebolt's a cantrip and Fireball is the spell.
I thought there was a different.
Well, there's a bunch of different fire spells. Burning Hands, Flame Sphere.
Yeah, Fireball's
There's-
like pretty powerful fire spell.
That's a 3rd level spell. It also would wreck the crowd.
He wouldn't do a fireball because they're in a crowd, and he wouldn't want to hit people.
No, Firebolt is very far.
Yeah. What about lightning bolt? Is that a cantrip?
That's a straight line 3rd level spell that would also hurt the crowd.
Okay, yes. Well, it would hurt the crowd?
Well, it goes like a straight line. It goes through your target, so anyone behind him would get hit too.
It goes through the target?
Yeah.
God.
Lightning bolt, it's 100 feet long, 5 feet wide. Each creature in the line takes damage.
Oh.
He probably hurt us too.
Gotcha. Yeah, he went... man, what would he do?
Do you have
He
any
wants to just...
non-fire-based spells?
Yeah, he wants to do something that will hit just this guy.
Hold monster or something?
Magic Missile's always good.
Yeah, magic missile would be good. He would do magic missile. That way he can make sure that it didn't hit anybody.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna do a magic missile, and he's gonna do it at 5th level. All right, so he hits this guy with 6 different magic missile bolts, and takes this guy down a lot.
Pew, pew, pew.
And the guy is starting to limp now, the doppelganger, and he actually at this point resorts back to his shape. You see him kind of like trying to change back and forth. He like becomes One-Eyed William for a minute, and then he changes now. He changes into like a lady, and then he changes back into the blind guy, and now he's back as a doppelganger, like completely. All right, and it is D&D is cool, and D&D is cool, or D&D is gonna D'Artagnan's gonna run. He'll just dash and do 60 feet, so he's 20 feet away. All right, and now it is back up to Zenfer, and then Zenfer is going to go 30 feet, and he's actually also going to cast Magic Missile. And he is going to do 7 damage, and that will actually, the 3rd and final bolt will go through the doppelganger's chest, and the doppelganger will fall down dead.
Player Amy really wishes he was alive, so good question.
Yeah.
You hear it as he falls down dead. Tolf says,
Die, dirty doppelgangers.
and he seems a little upset and angry.
Atulf, would there be any reason why I might want to cast Gentle Repose on this guy to stop him from decaying? In case someone could use Raise Dead on him and question him?
It is not a bad idea to see if we could find out something. But it is up to you, Paxton. Whatever you think is best.
What's your cleric level?
That is a 2nd level spell.
What is your cleric level?
My cleric level, I think, is 4.
Okay.
Why?
I was just wondering if you could Speak with Dead, but that's a 3rd level spell.
Yeah. I do have some 3rd level spells, but I don't have Speak with Dead prepared. But maybe I could soon. I'm trying to remember how cleric spells work in terms of being prepared. Usually I just prepare them and leave them.
You prepare them. You choose your prepared spells each day.
Tulf, should we try Speak with Dead on him? Would you be able to do that?
I do not have access to that spell.
I don't see it on my list of stuff I can do.
Yeah, I think it's because you're only a 4th level cleric, so you don't have access to 3rd level cleric spells
Okay,
yet.
yeah, I'm probably seeing 3rd level fighter spells. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we should just keep trying to catch a live one. Because
I suppose.
if we can't speak with dead and we can't raise dead, just have to keep looking, I guess.
I am sorry. I was not intending to kill him. I did not expect Zephyr to kill him completely.
Tell you what, you tell your people, and I'll talk with mine, that we need to, if we have any possibility of switching out for carrying a non-lethal weapon or preparing some spells that can incapacitate someone in a way that would facilitate interrogation. I'm sure that's something you have experience with, right? As a keeper of secrets.
His expression darkens and he goes, I do.
Then we'll try to find some doppelgangers, and I'll leave you to your skill set.
And he nods.
Do we need to transport this body or not?
Tolf will direct D&D, and D&D will kind of like take the body, and he's going to go get rid of it, like away from all these people.
What a nice guy. D&D is so cool.
Yeah, he's a cool guy.
I was going to say that I might be halfway through swallowing the body, like to carry it. But then since D&D wants it back, I'll just like regurgitate it and let it go.
Yeah, he dry heaves a little bit when you do it. But he takes the body and he just kind of brings it away. And the crowd is kind of dispersed away from you guys at this point. You guys now, you can see a little bit better. You're in this kind of open plain with the ruins kind of a little bit more now off in the distance than they were before. But the crowd has kind of gotten away from you guys. And at this point, you see Charles, he's kind of calming himself down, and he gets kind of in like the bloodlust when he gets into battle. But he dismisses his flame blade and he sheathes his sword, but his hand is still on the hilt of it. He's looking around, and then you hear him say, I see it. I see the spot. Yes, I see where we're supposed to. There, we're so close. I can see it. All right, this is our chance. Come on, let's do this. He starts like crouching and moving his way towards this hill that's kind of a little bit off in the distance.
Okay.
Slither on behind him.
Okay. So you guys make your way there, and Tolf is like,
Wait!
But Charles just continues forward.
I mean, the Tulf saying we should wait.
Charles goes, I'm not waiting another minute. He goes, this is our chance. Please, you promised me.
I motion for the Lumpins to stay with me, and I'm like, I'll back you up, but you're kind of getting away from the group here. If you want us all to fight with you, we need to work together.
But come on, we don't need him. Please.
Paxton just kind of shakes his head and starts walking forward.
All right. You guys continue forward. Tolf hangs back, but you guys make your way eventually to this hill, and you guys see that there's like a cave that goes down inside of it. And he says, this is it. I know he's here. He starts now like making his way silently down into this.
Is it super dark?
It's pretty dark.
And a Tolf's not coming with us?
A Tolf is not coming with you.
I want to send a message to a Tolf with the message cantrip and be like, hey, what's the deal? Like, I'm caught in a hard space here. We're going to lose Charles.
Tolf says,
I just feel like we should regroup. I've used a high-level spell, and I would prefer to rest before we engage in battle and come up with a better plan.
I think that's a good idea. I'm going to try to tell Charles. I think he might be blooded up, you know what I mean?
Very well.
But Charles goes, there he is! I see him! And Charles he's actually gonna take off straight into the cave. And you hear him pull out his sword.
I'm going to try to I don't know, follow behind him, I guess, in case he needs help, but this is really an awkward position. Paxton does not like this.
Yep.
We promise to help him. Slither on behind.
All right, so you guys make your way in, and you hear him kind of like footsteps echoing forward. And then finally, you guys make your way into like a big circular room. And as you guys do, several guys step out and to block the doorway.
I knew it.
And you see standing in the middle of the room, you don't see where Charles is, but you do see a man with 3 white streaks of hair, or 3 white stripes in his hair. He has a distinctive scar on his face. Let me find the description.
I think there was an eye patch.
Yeah, I said he had 2 different colored eyes. That's right.
Right.
And I was going to give him an eye patch, but then I thought, but then I realized I'd already said he had 2 different. So he has a scar in the middle of his face. He has
2 different
1
colored
blue
eye
eye,
patches.
1 green eye. He has 3 streaks of white hair, and doggone it if his sleeve isn't ripped off with a tattoo of a flipping mermaid on his arm.
This is definitely Roderick.
Yep. And Roderick, he looks at you, and he says, "Welcome, Frith. My name is General Rogers. I am working with the City of Two, and you are under arrest for your crimes against humanity."
I knew it.
You know, this is actually one of the things I wanted to do while I was here. So yeah, go ahead and arrest me. Let's talk this out.
As he says this, Charles steps out of the darkness, and he's actually holding a baby owlbear with his sword to its neck.
What are you doing, bud?
And he says, "Better go quietly, Frith."
Yeah, absolutely. Put the owlbear down, and Paxton gets down on his knees and holds his hand out.
So he's gonna hold his knife to this like mewling owlbear until you are successfully bonded, and they've got you all tied up and ready to go. And then after you are the lumpins going to allow themselves to be incapacitated as well?
I'm a giant snake.
I don't know if I was going to ask Paxton, are these good guys?
I think so. I think that at one point I was a bad guy, and I've got some explaining to do. But it's fine. There's a somatic component to message. Can I, even though I'm handcuffed, could I still message Atulf?
I think you could do it before you're tied up.
Yeah,
right?
Before he handcuffs me, I want to send Atulf a message and go, "Atulf, don't be mad, but I just got arrested."
All you hear back is, but I need to know. Are the lumpins allowing themselves to be captured?
Iron Lumpin will do whatever Paxton leads.
How are they attempting to do that?
They have cages ready.
I'm still a giant snake. I won't fit in a cage.
I assume they have a long sock that can put you in.
So Charles is going to say, "Make him turn back, or the owlbear gets it."
Lumpin, turn back into a bear.
To a bear?
Yeah, or isn't your normal form like a teddy bear?
No, it's just a little cloth guy.
He's a little humanoid.
Oh, I'm thinking.
He looks like the regular lumpin.
I'm thinking of the picture.
I think he looks a little bit like a teddy bear.
No, my Discord profile picture is the little lumpin guy.
I say, yeah, Lumpins. I think it would be best if you let them arrest you. I promise I'm going to get everything worked out, and it's all going to be fine. And we need to show them that we don't mean any harm to them and that we're not bad guys, because they're not bad guys either.
Okay.
All right, so they're gonna put the lumpins in cages, and after they do that, Charles, all of a sudden the owlbear puppy just disappears. It was an illusion that he had made.
Oh.
And he's going to look at you, Paxton. He's going to get really close to your face, and he's going to say, "I know you give me advice to not make a speech." He goes, "But you're going to pay for killing my father, Frith." And he's going to spit in your face, and that's where we're going to end the episode.
Oh boy.
How are you doing, Pavel?
I'm doing okay. I'm a little tired. I actually feel like this is the first time in my life where I have so much D&D going on that I'm not like, because usually it's like, oh, I wish I was in more games, but I played on Sunday. I played on Monday. I'm playing
Oh
now.
gosh.
Yeah.
I'm jealous. This is my only game I'm in at the moment. So is this the only D&D game that you're in, Brian, or are you in multiple ones as well?
I'm in one and I'm running one.
Oh, wow.
So
Are you actually playing that one you told me about a while back? It was like miniaturized inside someone's body or something?
that I turned into a one-shot. But no, a friend of mine is now running a Spelljammer game. So that's pretty cool. That's, I've never dealt with that except for, it sounds like Tales from the Glass-Guarded World got Spelljammer-ish after I left.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Sort of.
Cool.
Oh, that's right. All that happened after you were gone.
Yeah.
You're like, oh man, I wish I could do a Spelljammer one.
I'll leave these losers and go do a Spelljammer campaign.
Yeah. I saw the shit, but I never got to do a barrel roll.
All right, awesome.
While we're sailing around, I want to walk over to Daryl and sit down next to him. He's still on the ship, right?
Well, you're not on a ship. You've been walking.
Sorry. I thought we were passing by all these ruins on a ship for some reason.
No. You've been walking. You're on land. You got off at Veggietown, and the ship. You guys left the ship.
Okay, I gotcha.
Yep. Also, speaking of the ship, I never made a joke that I had set up for so long. The reason that one guy, Hendrik, the reason he left, he was a cleric, but he left the tower because he got sick of clerical work. I never made that clear. I just wanted to make sure that joke got out there.
That rocks almost as much as your minor joke.
Yeah, thank you.
Mike, just cut the joke out. Mike. Wow.
Yeah, I think like 3 recording sessions ago, this is exactly what I suspected was going to happen.
Huh. I definitely did not see that coming, so bravo. But
Thank you. I've been waiting for that reveal, man. I'm so excited that we finally got here.
Yeah.
So in the conversation, I wanted you to overhear it, but it was I'm glad Hempin Lumpin finally overheard it, them talking, because he said he never actually said like who they're hunting. He just said me and my friends are going to be enough to take him down. And so they were actually talking about you, Paxton.
that's why he glared at me whenever he left.
Exactly,
yeah.
because he wanted to just go ahead and capture you now. He didn't want to risk bringing you here to try and capture you there.
I think there was lots of foreshadowing that they were actually hunting Frith, but without being too obvious about it. You did a good job there.
Thank you. Yeah, so I'm excited. I'm excited to see that this was kind of the beginning of the next. I had three kind of arcs, and this was the end of the first one going into the second one.
Well, it was nice and subtle because it is about my character, and I did not pick up on it. So, round of applause.
Yeah, and that's why he asked you a lot of questions about Frith when you first met, and he when you mentioned Frith, he immediately kind of honed in on that and was asking you questions about
what can you jog my memory? What I said whenever he asked me about Frith?
So you lied, and you told him that Frith was a bad guy, but thankfully it's good that they're gone. I mean, you didn't necessarily lie. You didn't admit that you were Frith, but you said Frith.
At some point you mentioned that, didn't you?
He told a Tolf. He told a Tolf that, and
yes.
so a Tolf heard it and was willing to told him he would keep it secret, but he never told. He never told Charles, and Charles, that is another reason why Charles is also pretty upset, is because he felt like he gave opportunity to be honest, but it never was. But anyways, we'll find out more about that next.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Boy.